It's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Waike in the building. How you doing, Waike?
Good morning. Yesterday, I told you about those shrine boys. So I approached the Nigerian, German. Oh gosh, I've forgotten the name again. Anyway, they came to take some of them for courses, sewing and tailoring and barbing. So their graduation was yesterday.
Aww.
So when I rushed out of here yesterday, I was rushing to their graduation. I was very, very happy, to see them at least trying to do something with their lives. So,
It's the Nigerian German Center for Jobs, Migration and Reintegration. I saw it on your page.
yes.
Thank you.
All right. So fantastic. Well done. That's good. I'm happy with them. How many of them graduated?
25.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. Well done. Great.
It was very nice.
You're now empowered.
Thank you.
Season for graduating.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
How you doing?
Because when you told me all the kids were graduating
Yes.
yesterday, my brother's daughter is graduating today. I said, okay.
A lot of graduation going on. How you doing, Mariam?
Fine. My daughter is not graduating, but she was the compare at the graduation.
She was a compare.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
I wasn't there to see what she did, but I heard she did amazing. I was like, you may did not watch her, you did not see her. So I'm proud of her.
Where were you?
I'm not a parent graduating, as she told me, you're not a graduating parent. You're not a parent of a graduating student. You're not allowed to be here.
You won.
But I
She
don't
didn't
drop her
invite her
off.
mom.
I went home. She didn't invite me.
Oh, wow. Well, that's good. How you doing, Obiajulu?
I'm doing great. I told my customers that I'm still taking orders. It will end today. So if you are in the UK, you're in France, you're in the US, and you want me to bring wigs, only wigs, I can't do clothes because they're heavy. Today, you have till today, till 12 midnight today. Send me a chat so I can pack your hair. Some orders are already coming in, so I just bring it for you. That saves you the shipping cost. Yeah, I'm unwinding down from my holiday.
How long are you leaving us for?
I'm not going to announce that on TV.
Tell your fans so that they won't be asking, you have given Obiajulu away. They will say we are doing
Summer.
I need to rest. Like, I am exhausted.
They've worked back to back from January to
tired.
date. I can tell that for free.
Yeah,
This year has been consistent,
Yes,
like back
I
to
really
back.
work. So I
Wait, I don't
come in
understand.
January.
No, I mean, we've
no,
all
we're
been
not talking
consistent.
about you now.
No, I need to understand. You say she's been consistent.
she-
Like, who hasn't been?
She hardly takes
5
days
days.
off.
She didn't come throughout January. I hope you remember.
Exactly. We're waiting for her. We're waiting.
Partiality in front of us.
In front of me.
These people are not
In
nice.
front of me.
These people are not nice.
Go on your summer holiday and come back. Then you come back.
The whole of January, she wasn't here.
Oh, God, I
The
was
whole of January.
Okay, you can't even talk. 3 months you have gone. Don't even talk. Don't even speak.
Naira speaks, no.
Don't even speak. You have no authority to speak here. Moral obligation. Please. Yesterday was my daughter graduated. Elizabeth
Congratulations.
graduated. She was so happy. Oh my goodness. You know, when they taxing the parents to pay this money to organize an event, some of us were reluctant because of the money. But yesterday, we saw the money.
He came out
He came out well. They were even begging us, please take all the drinks on the table. It's yours. You know, it's yours. You know, it was really fun. The parents danced. We celebrated. The kids were happy. They danced all the Nigerian songs very well. And I was just like, hey, look at me. It's just a few days ago, I was condemning it, but the kids had a blast.
Yeah.
And it was just good to see all of them really connect. You know, they actually had choreographs and they enjoyed it. It was their day and they owned it. And I thank the school, like I mentioned it on TV, but I thank the school for all their love and support for the kids. I never knew.
Please, which songs did people dance?
Yes, yes.
It's only Jesus song people dance.
No. I said all Nigerian songs. We dance, we dance.
Imagine.
How did I see it and you didn't see it? Where did I see
Maybe
it?
it's Brown's page or something. I've not posted it. I think Brown, even the dads were really involved. They all danced. I mean, it was a really, really nice.
I saw she was wearing this white dress. I mean,
Maybe it's Tokwe.
yes,
I think it was Tokwe.
or something.
Maybe Tokwe posted it.
Tokwe.
Tokwe posted it.
Okay.
I haven't posted yet. I'm just, because I'm being careful because of other people's kids. I didn't want to post it, but I'm really happy that they had fun. Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Tinubu orders release of grains to 50 million farmers and others. Senate seeks immediate action on Ondo ocean surge. Market forces driving price of petrol, says Kyari. Oyo, Oshun, Kano, others declare holiday for Hijra 1445. UK agency okays Naira for trade financing. Tinubu orders NDLA to probe killing of 2-year-old by operatives in Delta. Senate House to probe NNPCL, NDDC, others. And CBN axes 2,698 bureau de change offices. Okay, let me start with the major headlines. So our president has ordered an immediate review of the 8,000 Naira that is supposed to be the conditional cash transfer to 12 million homes. He's also said that they'll be providing grains to 50 million farmers and households. This was according to the special advisor on special duties, communication and strategy, Mr. Dele Alaki, was saying that you would agree that the president has been listening to Nigerians and he's been able to review based on the feedback they got. That obviously some of this information has been mixed with ill-informed perspective. However, the president has reconsidered and they have asked for an immediate review. He also described the subsidy as a hydra-headed monster that's been threatening to kill our economy. But with this instruction back from the president, they would also be providing a whole gamut of palliatives to Nigerians and various packages. Aside from the 50 million farmers to get the grains released to 50 million farmers across the 36 states, they also assured Nigerians that the 500 billion naira that's been approved by the parliament to cushion the pain will be judiciously utilized. He says the beneficiaries of the relief shall be Nigerians irrespective of their ethnic, religious, or political affiliation. He also said that, just reminding Nigerians that the same way the business community had complained about the taxes and where the president had revoked some and delayed the implementation of others, it's the same way the president has heard about this issue of the 8,000 naira and has asked for an immediate review. Okay.
So okay, go ahead.
NDLEA, I don't know if you remember this story, and NDLEA doing a raid in Delta State had allegedly killed a 2-year-old boy, and his younger brother also was shot. They said that while they were in a gun battle with the fleeing criminals, the stray bullet hit that little boy, 2-year-old boy, and also his brother, the 2-year-old boy, passed. The brother had to be rushed to the hospital, for resuscitation. This led, of course, to outcries by the youth in Delta State. The Delta State government and also the House of Reps had called on the IGP to look into the case and make sure that it's investigated. The president has also weighed in. He expressed his sadness for the passing of this little boy and also the injury that his younger brother sustained, and has asked that there has to be a quick and speedy investigation into how this happened, and also prosecution of whoever it is that did this. As you all know, I'm a huge cheerleader for the NDLEA. I'm sad that in the course of their duty, they've taken a life so tragically. My heart goes out to the family, and I hope that, the proper thing is done, where whoever it is that did this is called to book.
Great.
So yesterday, we woke up to the sudden hike in pump prices of petrol, and that was by the NNPC, Nigeria National Petroleum Company, and their outlets. So it rose from 490 per litre in Lagos to 568 at the stations operated by NNPCL and major marketers. They said in the Federal Capital Territory, motorists and other users paid about 617 per litre against the 540. The new prices were ranging from 618 to 700 naira per litre in other parts of the country. So the Group Chief Executive Officer of the NNPCL, Mr. Mele Kyari, was saying that the market forces will continue to drive the prices of petrol. And the fact that there's an increase in the price of crude oil, exchange rate, freight and handling costs, as well as import changes are some of the factors that would continue to affect and determine the prices of this imported petrol. And it's not because there is a short supply of petrol. They have enough that would last us for about 32 days. But it's just the fact that when marketers buy this petrol, they have to, charge based on cost-reflective prices so that they don't lose out in the market. But we have nothing to worry as it keeps going up and the fluctuations are happening, that this is the way to go really for us to make a lasting change in the industry. They said, and I took that story yesterday, about 56 companies have received license already to begin importation. So hopefully as more people get into the business, the prices will actually fluctuate back to something that Nigerians can manage. So we just need to be a little bit patient.
Yes. Thank you so much for that.
So Senator Jimoh Ibrahim, has sponsored a bill because of the surge in Ondo community.
Ondo Ocean.
Yeah,
erosion.
The water is surging and destroying the villages. So he has sponsored a bill for the government to rise to the occasion and save the threatened villages and villagers, of course. Okay. So everybody hailed him as well done for sponsoring that bill. And the village is always those villagers they're really threatened when the water comes in. You know, it destroys everything, and they are one of the largest. They're the 5th largest producers of oil in
that area.
Nigeria.
Oh, in Nigeria.
Wow. They produce about 5.4 tons of oil.
Okay, let's move on to the Punch. NLC TUC lambasts Tinubu as fuel hits 630 Naira to the litre. The Sean negotiation. Military threatening to demolish 5,000 houses. Ogun communities tell Assembly. Troops kill 2 IPOL fighters, arrest 5 in Delta. CBN deletes 2,698 bureau de change in 1 year. Tinubu backtracks, reviews proposed 8,000 Naira cash palliative. Sustained air attacks on terrorists, commander tells troops. North Central, Southwest ex-governors may replace Adamu and Omishere. Okay, which story are we starting with in the Punch?
So lawmakers representing Abuja North State constituency, Babatunde Teller, yesterday called on the attention of the Ogun State House of Assembly to a petition by 20 communities in his constituency alleging planned demolition of over 5,000 buildings by the Nigerian army. So according to the lawmaker, they said the military accused the house owners in that area of encroaching into an expanse of land belonging to the Nigerian Army Division 32, Alamala Barracks. And so they are calling for the intervention of the House of Assembly over the matter. So in response, the Speaker of the Assembly, Olakunle Oluomo, gave the assurance that they are going to get necessary stakeholders together to find a lasting solution to what is happening there. They also cautioned men of the Nigerian Customs Service to stop harassing residents in the border communities in the state under the guise of clamping down on fuel smuggling into the neighboring countries. So we know that the federal government had banned the sale of fuel 20 kilometers around the borders. And so most of those residents, they have been piling their fuel in kegs to preserve it, in gallons to preserve it. But then the custom officers, some custom officers would carry out an illegal raid, go there and harass the citizens there. And so they are saying that they have to put a stop. That's not what they're supposed to be doing. And that has to stop, among other issues that were raised in the House of Assembly.
Yeah, so we remember our 8,000 Naira palliative that the president had proposed. They said the president has directed that this 8,000 conditional cash transfer program be reversed and reviewed immediately. This was in a statement that was signed by his special advisor on special duties, communications and strategy, Dele Alake. This was read, and so we're going to, the tone of the message is that, they've listened, they've heard Nigerian response to this proposed arrangement, and based on that, they've put a stay on it. They're going to review it, and then we'll hear back from them.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review.
I just wanted to correct that it's 5% of 60,000, 5.4% of 60,000 barrels.
Okay, that's in Ondo.
In Ondo, yeah.
All right. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to continue with the punch. Like you had a story, or
Okay.
I had a story, I think.
You take the story.
Okay, let me take the one that military. So, according to Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, he mentioned that no fewer than 2 fighters of the ESN, that's the Eastern Security Network of the military wing of the indigenous people of Biafra, that's IPOB, were on Monday killed in Delta State. According to him, the terrorists succumbed to the overwhelming firepower of the troops of the military after 2 of their own members fell in the gunfight that ensued while the survivors fled to their hideouts around the Okwanam River. They also said they were able to trace them all the way to their hideout and arrested about 5 and seized a few of their weapons. So just saying that 2 members of the IPOB were killed according to Brigadier General Nwachukwu. Okay. Any other story in Punch? Let's move on quickly now to...
Well, the Chief of Army Staff hailed them and said, well done. You've done
Nobody
a good job.
the military that threatened 5,000.
So what?
Human interest. Military threatening to demolish 5,000 houses.
No, Nigeria has taken it.
We took the story, sorry. Moving on to Daily Sun. Anger agony as petrol price rises to 617 Naira. Ex-governors, technocrats, top Tinubu's list of ministerial nominees. Appeal court dismisses Enugu APC Guba appeal against Mba. Outcome of presidential election tribunal may throw Nigeria into turmoil, but a judge warns. Why I sold my 3 children for 1.5 million Naira, says suspect. Ganduje opens up on 10 billion Naira CCTV camera loan project. Senate raises the alarm over erosion menace in Edo, Anambra. Damages court rules in favor of Honeywell, others EcoBank to pay 72 billion Naira. Okay, which story are we taking? Sun?
Senate yesterday raised the alarm over the havoc wreaked by erosion in Edo and Anambra states. They had 3 separate motions, and the senators were calling for urgent interventions by the federal government to address the menace and save lives of citizens affected in both areas of the state. So they said the flood has put many communities under constant threat of erosion devastation, resulting in massive gully erosions, flooding, and road devastations. A lot of people die when they are just trying to cross some of those roads, and those roads are they're not able to repair or build them. And this is beyond the purview of the state governments. This is where they expect the federal government to come in and do something on those roads. So they mentioned some of the roads. The Okene-Auchi Benin Expressway is a major road infrastructure in Nigeria, and that also began to fail at the Ekpoma axis because of the several gully erosions there. There are also Ewu-Romi-Agbo Road corridor that has also experienced similar fate, and other ones as well in Edo State. Then going to Anambra State, they mentioned quite a few here. I'm trying to get the roads there. So they have Onitsha-Were Federal Road between Electrical Parts Market and Metallurgical Training Institute, Obosi, and Oba Junction near Rogeni Games Village in Idemili South, amongst other roads. So they are asking that there's a need for collaboration between the federal agencies, Federal Ministry of Environment, Ecological Fund Office, and the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing towards tackling this menace of erosion. And they said they have to work together. They have to work in collaboration. This is just beyond the states. It's more about the federal government trying to sort out these roads.
So the Rivers State Police Command recently arrested Mr. Michael Charles for selling his children for 1.5 million. He had earlier given his name as Tango Chuku, and he hails from the Umuku in Ogba Egbema.
Omok. I know that because my friend comes from Omok.
Omoku.
Omok.
Omoku. So anyway, he has, they were arrested, about 7 of them for this kidnap. But he says, no, it's not, he didn't kidnap them, they're his own children that he sold. He said he had gone to his wife to a nurse to look after, because his wife has a disability, she's deaf and dumb. He had gone there to, for her to look after the kids, and she gave them 7,000. But then, I don't know how the miracle happened. He now sold the 3 children. They gave him, for the first child, Uchechi, they gave him 700,000. He collected 350 for Miracle, and the last one 500,000.
Wow.
And he said it's because he's poor, and they didn't have any means to look after the kids.
Very sad.
The wife's mother said he did it because the wife can't talk, and that's a lie.
It's not that poor.
Yeah, the mother-in-law.
Intentional.
Yeah, that it was intentional to sell the
Sell
kids.
his kids.
Okay, the president.
Advantage. Yeah, sorry.
The president has forwarded, according to the Daily Sun, the president has forwarded names of ministerial nominees to the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, for confirmation. According to reports, you know that many Nigerians are waiting and speculating on the names that will be on the ministerial list. He had till end of July. He and the governors that have been elected have till end of July to provide the names of their ministers and commissioners for screening. And currently, according to the report, DSS has finally concluded background checks, which included security screening of all the ministerial nominees prior to their and other nominees also. Some have also speculated that these people will be picked from politicians, private sectors, as well as politicians who played roles in emergence of Tinubu as president, and people who have also worked with him in the past. But CAN, that civil society organizations of Nigeria, and CAN, all the non-profit organizations, have also appealed to the government not to bring back old politicians. According to them, they need to look for viable and professional youth who are occupying various offices nationwide and engage them instead of using old, worn-out, fatigued, and corrupt leaders that have brought the country to its knees. That he should find young people who are strong enough and can actually contribute to the development of our country.
And deliver.
Okay. Moving on now to Vanguard. Anger as petrol hits 568 Naira to the litre in Lagos and 617 Naira in Abuja. Subsidy removal. Tinubu orders review of proposed 8,000 Naira cash transfer. Anthrax. Stop eating meat from sick animals. NCDC warns Nigerians. Exchange rate. Foreign scholarships to be suspended for 2 years, says Tet Fund. Reps to security agencies stop setting vessels with stolen crude on fire. I think you asked that question too recently. Court asked EcoBank to pay Honeywell 72.2 billion naira in damages. Okay, I remember you're concerned about the burning of the vessels. Burn. So I guess reps are telling them to stop burning.
Yeah, it doesn't
Go ahead.
Yes, I was going to talk about anthrax. So NCDC, that's Nigeria Center for Disease Control, has warned Nigerians against consuming meat of sick animals as they may contain anthrax. We also have the House of Reps has urged the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development to collaborate with relevant stakeholders to implement effective surveillance, vaccination, and awareness campaigns to contain the outbreak of anthrax. So I guess for a lot of people who are wondering what this is, so they say it's a spore-forming bacteria, and it affects ruminants like cows, sheep, and goats, you know, the sort of animals we normally consume as food, and that is transmittable from contaminated animals to humans. So you don't, if you eat them, if you handle them, if you come in contact with someone who has handled them, it can affect you. So people who are affected by this, animals that are affected by this, you see them bleeding their nose, their ears, their mouths, everywhere, their orifices. So we need to be careful. They're asking us not to consume meat that, of sick animals, be careful where we buy our meat. And of course, I'm hoping this is where the government comes in to make sure that the abattoirs, that the meat that is being sold to people is hygienic. But also have to use this opportunity to talk about my vultures. You know, when I say vultures eat carcasses, one of the, and when they eat them, even when they're sick, vultures do not get sick. And this is one of the ways that they protect us from outbreaks of diseases like that. And anthrax is one of the things that the vulture can eat, and it does not affect the vulture. So we can see how a reduction in, or the ongoing extinction of vultures can affect us. You know, sometimes we tell this story, it just seems far away from us, but you know, we can see how it really affects us daily.
To save us from anthrax.
We have vultures, just don't kill them.
Don't kill them.
We have enough. I hardly see them anymore.
We don't
I used
have
to go to the north. I used to see them everywhere. I don't know about now. I haven't been for many years. But in Kaduna, Kano, I saw a lot of vultures. They used to just stay by the abattoir waiting, not finish so that we can come and
You
eat.
won't see so many of them anymore, and that's why we have that campaign where we're encouraging Nigerians not to kill
We
them.
need our vultures now.
More than ever.
Vanguard, I was going to take TED Fund. TED Fund says that's the executive secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund, Mr. Soni Echono, yesterday dropped a hint that the panel has planned to suspend all foreign scholarships for 2 years due to the current exchange rate. According to it, consultations are ongoing because currently they are being owed 23 billion naira by the federal government, and have actually borrowed over 371 billion, out of which only 48 billion has been paid. He was speaking at the public hearing at the House of Representatives yesterday, because according to it, he was talking about the 2.3 million allegedly that was missing from TED Fund. So he was obviously saying that they can't continue to, because it's hard for them to source dollars, although the account is domiciled in the CBN. They're having issues sourcing for dollars, so they might have to suspend this scholarship they give to Nigerians who travel abroad for the next years until they're able to iron out these issues of the missing funds and the money is paid back.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to go on a break. Is there any other story?
It's just that the vessel, they burned the vessel, but nobody knows where the stolen crude oil that was inside disappeared to.
They always claim they burn it together.
That's what they say.
Yeah, so why would you burn
And waste
that amount? It was an 800,000 ton capacity.
Ew.
And then you now burnt all the oil inside.
Hey.
That's to get bow leg.
Fishy, yes.
Get bow leg, go.
No pun intended.
Okay. We're the only ones that can fix this country.
Oh,
Ourselves.
no.
We don't even have a choice. Not
That's
like we have
all
a
we
choice.
can take one page review. When we come back, once our hot topic of the day, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So the group CEO of NNPCL has attributed the increase in fuel pump price to 617 naira in Abuja to the market forces. Many of us were told this a month or so ago, that after the removal of subsidy and the floating of the Naira, we'll have to now buy things according to market forces. But Nigerians are lamenting because the prices of fuel has increased and it's become unbearable for many. What are your thoughts on this? How do we cushion the effect? The president tried to cushion the effect with offering 8,000 naira to 12 million households, and Nigerians have rejected it, saying that this is inappropriate because it doesn't even start to begin to help alleviate the effects of this in many homes. Others have said that there should be other ways of helping to ease the burden of this new floating of the Naira and removal of subsidy. What are your thoughts on this? Because these are really hard times for Nigerians. Many people are changing their lifestyle and what they do and see how they can adjust, but many are still finding it difficult. What are your thoughts on this? You can call us on the numbers on your screen, 090-241-63440, 081-0764-1679. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag yourviewtvc so we can read the tweets. We'd like to hear from Nigerians directly this morning. We'll be opening our phone lines pretty early because we'd like to hear from Nigerians. How is petrol on your end? How have you adjusted? How are you managing? What are you doing? How is your daily schedule changed? How has it changed since all this started? To call us on the numbers on the screen, we'd love to hear from you. Let me come to you, ladies, because everyone is affected. You know, the other day I had to go out and I just had to now find which car to take. I mean, grandma has a RAV4. And RAV4 is like the most fuel-consuming car, not doesn't consume fuel. I'm trying to say the best car to use, the least consuming car for fuel. And I just had to carry her car. I didn't even care where I was going. I said, "Mama, please borrow me your car because I know this one can last. Any other car, there'll be problem." So I had to adjust that. You know, when I'm going anywhere far, it's grandma's car I take, RAV4. But how are you guys managing? And how is this for you on your end? And I'd also like to hear from our viewers very soon. You want to start?
Yeah, some people can. You know, last time we lamented this. We lamented at our level. You know, see you now choosing 0-4, or is it this one that I'm going to use? But the reality is hitting more people in ways we cannot, even we that we are closer to the grassroots cannot even imagine. There are people who are not even able to go to their jobs because they don't have transport fare. Yeah. The hikes are... The other day I was having a conversation with one of my sister-in-law, and I was asking, how much do you spend from Abuja to Lekki? When she mentioned over 5,000 something, I said, what?
Uber? Or what?
No, Uber, Abawo. Transportation. Buses. Yes. I said, from Abuja, inside Abuja, yes. To Lekki a day, 5,000 naira. I said, so how are you going to work? What are you doing? How are you managing it? You know, on my way today, I did not see traffic. A lot of cars were not on the road. Normally, when at the time, because I even left late today, I was thinking, well, I was so tired. I said, I will manage the traffic anyhow. And once I get here, at least I should get here before 8 to do my makeup. My driver was looking at me. I was looking at my driver. People are not on the roads. Yesterday, I passed by a bank. I wanted to do some transactions. By the time we got there, the driver was like, are you sure these people open today? There were no cars in the compound. It was strange. People are just finding ways to just survive. This is not even a matter of manage. So manage is, okay, you have this, but you now have to cut some things and remove something. Some people don't even have at all. How are people surviving these times? You can't even buy chicken. Everything has finished in the house. They were looking at me as if, auntie, cook palm oil rice, please. Wednesdays we're supposed to do either jollof rice or palm oil. I just realized they've been doing jollof rice every Wednesday. They have left palm oil rice. When they say, we don't have chicken, can you pass and buy? I say, I'm not passing anywhere. Don't send me on that errand. Cook palm oil rice there. There's crayfish, those big crayfish, at least we still have. Use it and put inside the rice. Any child that does not want to eat will go and sleep. But it's worse for a lot of people who their purchasing power is not even there. I'm constantly cracking my head, okay, which additional jobs do I have to do to make sure that I meet up this standard of living I have? Are you sure I will not drop it? If I don't add additional streams of income, I will likely fall from the lifestyle that I think I have. But some people don't even have a lifestyle at all. Yeah. How can those people survive?
So someone like my driver now, he sleeps in my old house because we still use my old house, my offices. So I allow him to stay there because if he's going back and forth, his home, the cost is crazy. So he sleeps there during the week and then goes on
better for him.
Just to reduce costs of transportation. These are things that everybody's changing in different ways just to adjust to the times. But again, what do we want as a people? I mean, the president said these are hard times that we have to go through, but Nigerians want to know how long would this hard time be?
It's not just how long. It is, you see, there was a bill yesterday by the Senate for 70 billion for cars.
40 for cars, 70 for renovation.
For renovation. I mean, let's be honest, how often do we renovate our houses? Why must they renovate their houses, their house? Every time that half of them sleep inside anyway. Yeah, so, you know, if we don't see them cutting down their expenses, it's going to lead to resentment.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they need to actually pay attention to this. Yes. Because what will happen is anarchy. And we cannot afford it. Yeah. Nobody can afford it. I keep on saying it. I don't have any other place to go. This is the only place I have to lay my head. Hey, Joe, please, run this country well. Finish.
Thank you, Waiki, for bringing that up, because I think we discussed it also yesterday. Senator Adamaku was trying to defend it, saying that they've not had a facelift in many years. And we're thinking, we just had this conversation about 4 years ago.
Exactly.
It was 8 years ago. We still had this kind of conversation of renovation of the National Assembly that you are saying now that no matter what, if let the light be hanging, for now, you've removed subsidy and you're floating the Naira. Nobody can afford anything. Let the light hang for a while. Let it hang for a while until we stabilize and start producing, or everybody starts importing, and then the market forces bring the petrol down, and then there's sanity. Right now, don't review anything. That's what you're saying, Waiki. Let me come to you, Mariam.
Yeah, so on the streets, I mean, the complaints, there's a silence, really. Much more than complaints. There's just a silence that people are wondering, okay, what is going to happen? And we need to be careful. Like as you said, the government, those in power, our legislators, they need to be careful what they put out there, because Nigerians are watching to see that if this is something you want us to handle while you are living in La Vida Loca, you know, I went to a federal government parastatal. This federal government parastatal is in the business of generating revenue for Nigeria. And the building is is dilapidated. I don't think that thing has seen a lick of paint in many years. You know, falling doors, things everywhere. Those are the sort of places I would understand if they are getting refurbishment every 4 years. But we have these larger-than-life senators that go into these buildings, they do a few hours of meetings, they're out of these offices for months because they have to go on break and they come back. I just don't feel that we are prioritizing what is important.
Yes.
And we need to see government do it first.
Yes.
You will achieve so much. See, Nigerians have heard we need to tighten our belts. We have heard you. We are holding on to this belt, but we have to see that you're doing exactly the same, or even more than us. There's nothing wrong with first recognizing that you're going to be, what would I say, legislator of the austerity period.
Yeah.
You can come and say, you know what, we understand we're in tough times, and we will show you in the way we carry out business now that we know what is going on. And then Nigerians will realize, okay, we're doing this together. When we look to each other and say things are tough, we will see you people too as you're going through it. And then it makes us feel that we're fighting a certain thing together. Because we're asking, okay, if today you're telling us petrol is 600 and something, what are you going to tell us in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
What are you going to tell us in a month? In how many more days will this be over, or months will this be over? Then, okay, have a call, because I was going to go next to palliative. Nigerians are asking.
Okay, let me come to Akin. Thanks for Akin. You're live.
Yeah, hello.
Good morning. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Good morning,
Yeah,
sir.
good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yes, good morning, ladies. Please, our first-time caller, please.
Welcome to the show.
So, yes, I want to join the conversation because I can see that Nigerian government is not sensitive to the plight of the people. Because I could remember during 2001, when Obasanjo removed the diesel subsidy, I was a member of the union then in an early textile industry in Solo. So many industries went down, closed down, because of this deregulation of removal of diesel subsidy then. And the big industries, which are the textile industry that are the highest employer of labor then, they closed down. Now it is the turn of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu now. He's closing down the small and medium-scale industries. Because if we look at the petrol remover now, subsidy remover now, most welders, let me just give you an insight of the local situation. Most welders moved from diesel generator to petrol generator, diesel engine to petrol engine to do their work, which are the artisans, because they could not afford diesel. Now you are pushing them out of business again because of this. One warning that I have been given ever since is that any country that listens to all these foreign countries, IMF, World Bank, or something like that, they are not ready to grow. That is a simple truth. Because IMF is shouting, remove subsidy for over 15 years. World Bank is shouting, remove subsidy. Now, that subsidy has been removed now. But there is no palliative. There is no common ground for general masses to dwell. Now they are now blaming the government again that if you are prepared before removal. What you have been shouting over 15 years ago, any government that cannot put food on the table of its citizens is a failure. Simple truth.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Akin. I'm going to go on a break because during the paper review today, I did read that when the Mr. Dele Alake, special advisor on communications and special duties, was saying that the government will unveil its palliative strategy. We're waiting because they showed it in piecemeal, and we saw the 8,000, and we resisted it, and now they've gone back. Hopefully, we don't know what the palliative relief is going to be, but it should include transportation. to work. We need buses.
When we come back, we'll give
Transportation.
them
We
advice.
need food on the
farming.
table for Nigeria. So we wait for this thing, what it looks
Farmers
like.
have been
That
giving
money that
grants.
they're saving, they should use it to subsidize farmers.
Exactly.
They should use it to do the roads.
They have
so
those
that-
plans.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
come
go on a break. When we come back, we'll talk more about this and take more calls. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing the fuel increase, and many Nigerians are still lamenting. Some have also reminded us of when the diesel was initially deregulated. And I think there was a time where diesel was at some point in recent times, 980,000 Naira to the dollar. But now I'm told it's about 600 and something. So whether we like it or not, at some point it goes up and it comes down. And that is what Nigerians are hoping would happen with petrol if we have more people importing and not just exclusively NNPC. That's the problem we have right now. According to the story you took, more markets, about 56 are about to start importing. When they import, because the truth is that these guys can get at cheaper prices. You know how sometimes, I mean, I was speaking to somebody who knows the markets, and I don't know if they're marketed directly. I was saying that sometimes they get these things cheaper than the rate they claim in Nigeria to Nigerian government. So, for example, if I tell you 100 Naira, for example, I can, because I'm buying a lot in bulk, you can sell it to me at 50 Naira. So, but they know what the bill they bring home is 100 Naira, and then people are benefiting and making a killing. So the truth is that now that more marketers are going to import by themselves, they can negotiate, and then you come home and based on the prices you buy it, you can now be more competitive. But that will take time.
Yeah, but then there's also the fact that we have the exchange rate. Today, how much is the Naira to the dollar?
That will also affect.
That will affect prices as well. I just think that there's just there's so many things going on at the same time that has made it quite heavy on Nigerians right now. I don't think it's just about the number of people who are importing. There's also the fact that we need to start doing a lot of refining as well and exportation as well to earn foreign exchange. There's just so much.
To read Mount Rushmore's tube. It says Niger Delta illegal refineries should be legalized pending when Dangote commences production. That is, if he ever does. Then he says we should have two options of fuel available, local and imported. So this is why he's saying the Niger Delta, they should actually, he's saying more people should be taught how to refine oil. It says if Niger Delta guys can be refining this crude oil, then it's no big deal. It's all about heating the crude oil continuously. First, you get AGO and DPK. Next PMS, then gas. So what he's saying is they should explore.
Exploit.
Yes.
Local products.
All right.
The local products. They are stealing the crude oil and refining it. Okay, monitor them. Don't shut them down. Because
Burn the place.
don't.
Okay, let me take this call. I get you. Yeah, so we want to formalize it properly, but so the government needs to engage these people properly and formalize their operations. Let me take this call from Adebukola from Abeokuta. Thanks for calling, Adebukola.
Good morning,
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
Please, I would like to make a contribution that this
Go ahead, please.
issue. Hello.
Go ahead.
Please, this fuel issue is getting annoying, and with the way things are going on, we have observed that each presidency, each problem in this country. Please, they should just tell us how long are we going to suffer this? Because I could not travel to go home and see my son. It's been a very long time that I set my eyes on my son. Now I'll be spending up to 10,000 naira to go and see my son. So, what is the reason for me going home without getting money to drop for him? Please, I should just at least do something to it. It's getting annoying. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
So I know that when they started this conversation of taking out a subsidy, they realized that the subsidy that the government claimed they were paying was actually working for the rich and not even the poor, right? And now they want even the rich people to pay the cost-reflective prices of everything, which is fantastic. But I'm just worried that the rich people are still buying their fuel. They are not complaining. They will, even if it's 700, they will still walk into the filling station and buy and purchase. But the people who are suffering this the most are those ones whose purchasing power is so little. The minimum wagers, the people who are not even in the scope of government's minimum wage, the traders in the local places, the villages, the people who earn their daily living are the ones who are most hit by this. And I would expect that the government's focus will be, first of all, on how to subsidize for those people. So you could say, for at least the minimum wages, the workers and all of that, you could push money into transportation. So for now, government is offering almost free transportation for them to go to work. That's on one side. The food prices, make sure that at least we are subsidizing the farmers. They have started giving seeds and all of that, according to grains and all of that, so that at least food is cheap for those people. The rich can sort out themselves. But once you make it like a blanket, and I'm also worried about this amount of money that they want to. I'm glad now that government is going to be reviewing it. But can I suggest that even if they want to pay these people, can they make it up to 50,000 naira? If they suspend that 70 billion and 40 billion for their cars and add to it, they should be able to pay at least 50,000 naira to households for a few months before we see how these market forces would help us and things will normalize. It's just a suggestion. So as they are discussing it now, they should add this one into what they're looking at.
Let me take this call from Babatunde. Thanks for calling, Babatunde.
Good morning.
Good morning, you're live.
Good morning to my viewers. This is the first time caller.
Welcome to the show.
I just want to chip in something. The fuel subsidy is rising up very, very hard. In Ikorodu as of today, we buy for 700 naira, which is too hard. But my suggestion is Nigeria should give this government a little patience. Fine. And Sister Murayo, please, I want us to be a voice of the people. It's high time we start making noise about president all this while. It's high time we continue asking our governors and local government chairman and the councillor that they are the most closest to us.
Yes.
For example, in May, the federal government and the state and local government shared 655 billion. In June, 786 billion. But this July now, they are going to pay 1.95 trillion. You can see that kind of an increment. So we people need to ask our government, hold them accountable. The local government chairman and the council, hold them accountable. The high time they need to.
Thank you for taking us there, because that was actually our next segment. Because according to reports, the government is about to share the largest figure, which is about 1.959 trillion naira. This is the largest amount of money that's ever been shared, and they're still trying to get the data for us. It says it's nearly triple the 786 point something billion in June, and more than triple the 655 billion that was shared in May. So what they're about to share is probably the highest figure ever shared. Now, if that happens, the money therefore should trickle down to the local government, meaning that there's work to be done and there's money to be spent properly and should be spent judiciously, because as he rightly said, we all keep focusing on president, but the people who are closest to the government, you see, the president can have a vision, but if other people don't drive that vision, it will not affect us. So the man who's about to get his own share, the local government chairman who's about to get his share, therefore, we citizens must hold him accountable. How do you plan to spend it? Will you fix the inner roads? Would you clear the drainages? Would you fix the schools? Because local governments used to handle schools until UBEC came in as an intervention. It was their job to ensure the schools were running properly. You know, so the local government also needs to wake up to ensure that Nigerians they are the best to provide the palliative, because there's no bus that federal government wants to send from Abuja that will reach K2. It is the local government here that will say, okay, I need this amount of buses to get my people to school. So they also need to be able to pull their weights, especially in this season.
I agree with you. for palliative, me, I don't even believe that they should share money. Because sharing money, how are you going to ensure that it gets to the people that need this money? The things that will make it, you see these farms, where if you subsidize the farmers, that subsidy that you're saving, go and give it to farmers, then put security so that the bandits and the terrorists and the bobo cannot interfere. Then when we start buying tomato for a basket, 5,000, do you know that is heavy subsidy already? Because what the 100,000 that I used to buy a basket of tomato, I now use 5,000. Oh man, everything will come down.
Let me take this call from Vivian YK. Vivian calling from Apapa. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I just want to contribute to my little whatever.
Yeah.
Government has to do what they have to do. Everybody knows that worldwide things are difficult. So let's just help the government as they are also, working towards making things better for, Nigerians. Somebody like me, I will not lie. When Akongo Bridge was bad, a lot of people coming from Apapa, we turned to Trekkers Association of Nigeria. And it really helped as in exercise, and our cost of transportation went down. Like from Ajegunle to Ijora, we'll now trek from Ijora to Akongo. But now the bridge is okay. Fuel has come up. Everybody has gone back to status quo before. Transportation is now 500. So that's 300 we used to, share aside. Is a burden to a lot of, sellers, sales girls in Akongo. Before, they used to trek from Ajegunle to Ijora. They used to take a bus from Ajegunle to Ijora, from Ijora they now trek to Akongo, which is just 200 naira. But now everything is normal, which is 500 naira. And buses will not even allow, laughing, as in girls to girls.
All right. Thank you very much, Vivian. Let me take this message.
She said?
I think she's just trying to talk about how this is affecting small and medium and businesses. So what she's saying, do you mind? Should I go ahead? So what she's saying is that when the Apomon Bridge was locked, the good side, even though it was a bad thing that, of course, we could not apply that road, there was traffic and everything, the good side is that people started walking. And because of that, the money that they would have put towards transportation, they had it to put it away. Now the bridge is open and they are back to using transportation. But hello, cost of transportation has gone up. So, and that's how it's affecting businesses.
Let me take this message, my wife. It says, good morning, Moran, the ladies. I'm sorry if this hurts some people. Truth, like the Northern Star, is constant. This is from Otumba Karim. Some Nigerians are very, very impatient. We want the good things of life, but we are not ready to sacrifice at all. Subsidy on petroleum products has to go pure and simple. If there is no pain, there is no gain. Government is not magic. It is a process, planning, and execution. Nigerians should let the government breathe. Haba. We get that, Otumba. However, government must also show. You must show, because perception is everything. Governments must also show that they are also tightening their belt, because we cannot be agreeing to this comment on one end, and the other end, somebody is proposing 40 billion to buy cars. Another person is proposing 40 billion to renovate the National Assembly. That in itself is quite distasteful for Nigerians to take in. So we're not saying we understand subsidy has to go.
Yes.
Nobody here has agreed that subsidy should stay. But if we're all going to be paying 1,000 naira from here down the street, government too must also adjust something. And it must
drive your own cars.
Drive your cars. Show me that you're making a sacrifice.
So, it's true that I personally, I think that this policy is the best policy, and it's way, overdue. I feel that if we had done it earlier, maybe the impact on us wouldn't have been as bad as it is right now. And if we make the mistake of not going through with it, the impact when we eventually do it will be even worse. So now that we're here, we all agree that this is what we have to do. I think the noise that we're hearing really is about the palliatives for those who are the most vulnerable, the very poor amongst us. Because the very poor amongst us, we're not talking about which car am I going to use. We're talking about how do I get to work? How do I eat today? So that's why we're discussing palliatives. What are the palliatives that we're putting on the ground for people like that. And we're also discussing these palliatives that the distribution has to be done in a way that people do not take advantage. So government, we are calling on government will do its part and make sure that they put the right policies on ground. But now in the execution of it, that's where we talk to each other. Because you know that you're supposed to give somebody a certain amount of money, which I'm not, I don't agree with, but let's say that that's what we eventually do. But then you find a way to intercept that money. The money does not reach the people that it's meant to reach. Now you cannot blame government, because government has done its part. You have to look at each and every one of us. Yeah. What are we doing to make sure that when eventually these palliatives are brought, here, are given to us, we do not misuse it? When they send out grains to the farmers, are the farmers really getting it? Or are you forming some committees of friends that you are giving much more than they need so that they can eventually sell to these farmers? And then when we're talking of farmers going to the farm, we are talking about security. Are you part of the people that you know who these bandits and terrorists are? You are accommodating them, and then they are going into the farms and stopping our farmers from, using the palliatives they've given them as grains to give us, okay. Yeah, just paint a picture of how we're all part of this. We have to all, all hands have to be on deck.
Dauda from Bariga, thanks for calling.
Hello.
You're live. Go ahead, please. Morning, sir.
Yeah. Good morning. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
I just want to thank you very much. So my view regarding the removal of the fuel subsidy is that it's a simple issue. The government, as they have removed the subsidy, is a nice something. But the government should look for a way of subsidizing other areas regarding what we produce in Nigeria. Like food subsidy, I believe that government should shift that subsidy removal to the area of food production, because food is the most important thing in this country. And another area that I believe the federal government should put that money into is electricity. When there's constant power supply, the economy will drive. Another area is the transportation. If the federal government can distribute that money for effective utilization of those three areas, the economy will come back to normal. That's just my view.
All right. Let me quickly read this message before I go on a break. Good morning, Ryo. This is from Dr. Iroro Yarere. Good morning, Mariah. There should be a report on the National Assembly building to know what needs to be repaired or refurbished. I agree with you. I think let's even know what it is. If it's painting, we can always tell Suraju to go and help you paint the place. What exactly are the things that is required for this update? I mean, just joking, but the truth is that maybe we can use part of the refurbishment of the National Assembly as some kind of a community service for people to do. When you're sentencing, whatever, okay, you're going to go and spend two whole months in National Assembly, and your job is to sweep all the floors. Your job, let us what is required. Yes, if you need air conditioners, right? If maybe a company called Jack's company, Jack's, you're providing AC, your part of your taxes is to provide X amount of air conditioners to this. We'll give you a waiver. It's got to be some way you got to do this thing.
Something small before you go on a break. In the prisons, we have different departments where they learn all of these things, right? Yeah. So if we cut out the money we're going to be paying consultants to handle the refurbishment, we bring those people from the prisons. They already know the work. They do the work well. We buy the equipment, the paints and everything that they will need, and they'll come and do the work. It's part of their service. That's what I just wanted to add. You can do that.
Do you have a call?
I wanted to go on a break, but...
Okay, go on your break.
We'll be right back.
Because I must say this one.
You say it, don't worry.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm told we have a caller, Dotun. Oh, okay. So I'm told now we lost the caller. All right. So still discussing this matter. We'll be having with us joining the conversation because we need clarity and perspective on this. So we'll be having Professor Tunde Adeoye. He's a professor of financial and monetary economics and macro policy analysis, Department of Economics, University of Lagos, Akoka, Lagos. Prof, good morning, sir. Are you there? Okay, so I'm still having issues connecting with the prof. So I guess we'll come back to him.
Can I?
Yes, go ahead, YK.
I wanted to talk about subsidy.
Yes.
You see, while I hear that we need to remove subsidy, the first thing about the subsidy is they were subsidizing petrol that we did not even need.
Mostly, yeah.
They were subsidizing petrol that was going to Chad, going to Niger, going to Benin Republic. So there was corruption in that subsidy. Yes. Because if it was only the petrol that we needed, they may not have been spending that amount. So first and foremost, before they go anywhere, I think they should first go and look for all those places so that they can now collect their money back. Yeah, because we are now suffering.
Yeah.
You know, we are not being beaten as hard as that guy I gave a lift yesterday that said, I don't know what I've done, how I've saved his transport for him. We don't feel that.
Yeah.
Me, I can afford to, I just see that my tank is going down. I quickly buy 5,000. And I don't go anywhere, I just sit down in my house because I don't want to be buying. I was watching a car today. He was feeling, when I drove out, 23,000, he had not finished filling. I put my hand on my head. So you mean if I let my tank go empty, this is what is going to happen to me?
Thank you, YK, for taking us there. Because imagine if Nigerians woke up to the news where 10 members of the cabal that have been stealing from Nigerian, that have been the ones actually exporting out the illegal crude to all these countries, have been arrested. We're going to think, okay, something is happening. So what that way is saying that, yes, because the truth, subsidy in itself is not bad if it's exclusively for Nigerians. Because they figure that the amount of that we're using is beyond, it's not even as much as what we're paying. So if the investigation is carried out, as you've always advocated for this investigation to be carried out, where we make some arrests.
Yeah, but can you arrest the powers that be?
Okay, well, let's ask her in a second. I have a call. Let me take Dotun. I'll come back to you.
Problem.
Dotun, thanks for calling. You're live again.
Uncle. How are you?
Very well, sir.
The first caller.
Welcome to the show.
We have many first callers today.
Yeah.
My contribution is that I retired 14 years ago as the director in Lagos State. Okay. All my packages are around 40,000. The people who are ruling us, the president, to the senators, to the people at the House of Assembly and the head, people who are councillors, money, fantastic salary and bonuses. But you share it and work on civil service rules. In other words, if the parliament everything between service is level 17, the next service will be 18, the next service will be 19, the senators will be 20 or 25. Don't make the work that house, there's a lot of money there for the people to enjoy. Right now, they are taking to the petrol. It's so little in the pension. How do we expect to live? These people are having a monthly salary. But in service, civil service, maybe 20, 95 and so on. And then the water, the money will come down.
Thank you, Mr. Dotun. We didn't hear you in the studio, but I'm hoping our video viewers probably heard what you said. Thank you for your comments. Yes, let me come to you.
Yes, Omadi Baptist says, as an economist, I've said it before, that the twin implementation of both subsidy removal and exchange rates would lead to hyperinflation. Both policies shouldn't have been implemented at the same time. The reason is because we're still an import-dependent country. Now that we're in this quagmire, palliative should not be to individuals, but to critical sectors.
Right.
Although giving up palliative defeats the purpose of subsidy removal in the short run, because the goal is to save the money and invest in building of our own refineries. It was so much, but I think this is enough.
Yeah, so I wanted to, I was asking a question. I said, can you even arrest the powers that be? That's one. Do you have the moral justification to arrest the powers that be? Because they will fight back, and they will fight whatever it is that they have. And if in any way you have chopped with them, they will rope you inside. Everybody will just come out. So sometimes government is very careful not to go. They know them. It's not like they don't know them. They know them, and they know the strongholds that they are. And they're very careful not to step on toes so much so that they are not themselves kicked out of office or however the thing plays out. But that is on one hand. On the other hand, even with the little that we're trying to save, how are we spreading it evenly to the people? That's where the concern is. If you say, okay, we know these people, we know we cannot touch that angle, but you see these things are supposed to come to us right now, we're not going to take it for us. We're going to use it for the people so that the people will see, let it be seen that the government itself is doing its best to ensure that everybody goes through this seamlessly. It's just for the people to have a feeling of, we can trust this government. Right. We are in this together. Right. They hear our pain and they respond to us. Okay. You hear, okay.
The silver lining in what you just said, the silver lining is the fact that all the MDAs, ministries, parcels were sacked. I think it was dissolved. Everybody has gone home. So all the cabals, their friends, their connections, their partners, everybody has gone home, right? Now we're hoping that this new wave of appointments that this new government brings in can be people who would not be friendly to the cabals. Hopefully some real arrests. I'm just trying to find the silver lining. It's possible because when we say they know them, maybe those who know them have gone away with I'm saying that's the silver lining. We are hoping that now that they were sacked, the new we bring in a new wave of technocrats who don't know anybody and they're just here to work. Yeah. Hopefully, in the few months that we have, we can actually get some of these cabals arrested and now have real transparent investigation.
The cabals are the ones that own the blocks. The cabals are not in government. They are not in active service.
But they can't carry out anything without government.
Of course.
So their friends have gone home.
But there's what they call strongholds. They have the strongholds.
Those strongholds are only functional with government.
It's not just owning the blocks. They are the ones that are shipping in the fuel. They have the filling stations. They are the ones that take the fuel across to Benin Republic.
Are those the cabal?
And somebody who knows somebody, for example,
is it me?
If I know somebody that runs the customs, for example, I'm just using it hypothetically speaking. You still need government. You can't move from your cabal house. You still need government. That's true. So I'm saying that the silver lining of if we want to be optimistic as Nigerians, because we have a new government, let's hope that whoever is running the customs going forward will ensure that those who are transporting the illegal, either illegal smuggling of rice, illegal taking of our crude, whatever it is.
We don't have a new government. We just have a new administration. It's still the same government.
All right, let me take this call from... we have our prof, right? Good morning, Professor Tunde Adeoye. Thank you, finally, he's back. Hello, sir, can you hear me?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Good morning, Nigeria.
Thank you very much for being with us. Sorry we couldn't get you on Zoom, but I'd love to see your face. However, we've been discussing the issue of subsidy removal, the floating of the Naira, and the hardship it has put on Nigerians, because we were told, yes, that the floating of the Naira would cause things to rise and things will be based on market forces. However, Nigerians are screaming and saying, this is really unbearable. Government tried to provide palliative of 8,000 Naira for 12 million households, but we resisted it, saying that that is totally inappropriate. We can't even verify how it will be disbursed. Nigerians resisted it, and the government is trying to review it. But in your take as a professional, what do you think is the best option for government to take at this time?
Okay. Thank you once again for having me. It is true that the fuel price that have been fully regulated and being allowed to be determined by the forces of demand and supply has caused untold hardship on the citizens. Can you hear me?
Very clearly, sir.
Okay. Now, the issue is this. The price of the fuel is subjected to the forces of demand and supply. It is not determined within. It is based on what the price of oil is in the international market. And we should not forget the fact that our Naira has already been floated, the exchange rate has gone up, and so the landing cost also will also go up. And as long as the landing cost of petroleum that is being imported has gone up, definitely we should expect the pump price to also go up. But where I feel the government needs to come in, because all this neoliberalism and policies that is being dished out based on the IMF, suggestions, we have devastating effect on common man, just like you have out there have been analyzing. So, but what I expect government to come in is to see how to cushion the effect of this increase in price. Just like you have rightly stated, a lot of people have rejected the palliative measures that government has, is trying to put in place. Because when you talk about 12 million Nigerians that will benefit from that 8,000 naira, what would 8,000 naira even do in the lives of 12 million Nigerians? And besides, what is the proportion of that 12 million to over 200 million Nigerians? And of which, out of that over 200 million Nigerians, we have almost 100 million that are already in poverty. Don't forget that some time ago, Nigeria was labeled as the poverty capital of the world. Now, having said that, what I feel from my own experience, government can do at this point in time, one, is to face this issue of deregulation, subsidy removal. The issue of subsidy removal in the oil sector is biting hard on the people. So other sectors of the economy, government should not hands off. Even in the so-called US, that is the domain of liberalism. The government also come in to at least do some things in order to cushion effects of market forces. So I expect government one to face this issue of liberalization. Then in the case of palliatives, there are things government can do that can benefit the core poor. That is the poorest of the poor in the society that can have access to some of those amenities. For instance, if there are gains from this subsidy removal, government can invest it in agricultural production. And when I mean agricultural production, it doesn't mean, it doesn't mean farming alone. I mean the whole value chain. And apart from that, government can invest it in social services where common man can have access. For instance, health. As I speak with you today, people are only talking about food, they are talking about transportation, they are talking, what of medication? As we speak today, an average household cannot, treat malaria because the cost of medication has gone up. So these are areas that I expect government to look into. Then education. Common man, as time goes up, schools are planning to review their charges, their fees. Common man will not be able to send their wards to school. These are the areas where we can reduce poverty. Because without human development, we should forget it. There can't be growth, there can't be development. Sharing, or what they call cash transfer, sharing 8,000, 10,000 cannot take us anywhere. It will even aggravate the level of poverty the more.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me ask anybody ask a question concerning monetary policy. So we've seen all the issues, how floating of the Naira has affected us. But this is a necessary phase. I don't want to use a necessary evil, but it's a necessary phase for us to get to the promised land, according to what politicians have told us. But how do you think Nigerians or government can help Nigerians better understand this process? Because many just believe that, many don't trust the system, they don't trust government, and they just believe that this at some point is still not going to benefit them in any way. How do you think they can begin to help Nigerians understand this new monetary policy, and what can they do to get Nigerians' trust back, which is something they've lost for many years?
Thank you very much for this question. I think it's a key question. Citizens have lost trust in government over the years because promises were made and those promises were not fulfilled. And there were no any explanation to that effect why those promises were not fulfilled. And because of that, people don't believe any government any longer. Well, this is a government that is 2 months old, thereabout, or less than 2 months old. I think the starting point for this government is to see how to build trust and to be transparent, especially when it comes to some of these key macroeconomic policy issues. Before we talk about the issue of Naira, the issue of fuel we are talking about, if government can go ahead and break the oligopolistic nature of the NNPC Limited, I think that will help a lot and be transparent in the way they lift oil, the imported fuel, and the way those fuel are being discharged. Then coming down to the issue of monetary policy. Monetary policy cannot just have effect on the economy. I think the issue is on the fiscal side and not more on the monetary side. The Naira has been floated and it is being determined by the forces of demand and supply. And I think it is a welcome idea because the barrier to accessing foreign exchange is no more there. But I believe with time, if Nigeria can get itself back and that can build that trust and can also encourage production, then definitely the fundamentals that will support our foreign exchange, where we can have more foreign exchange, we reduce that volatility in exchange rate. Let me say this. The challenge precisely is that Nigeria as a nation is dependent on primary products, and that's oil. We are not producing anything. We are not exporting anything. Even in the agricultural sector, there's no more value chain system. So these are the major issues. But what I expect this government to do is to sit down, have an economic team, roll out a particular program for a period of time, short-term, long-term, short-term, medium-term, and long-term basis, so that people will be able to follow the government step by step on some of these policy issues.
All right, let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with you, Prof. Thanks. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We still have Professor Adeoye with us. A question from you, ladies?
Yes, we have a question. So we wanted to find out, because, you had taken, Mariah had taken in the papers this morning about the money that the government is about to share. That's FAC. And we wanted to know your take on the amount. You said this is going to be like the largest amount that they are going to be sharing in a very long time. What you think that money can be used for judiciously so that it affects even the common man?
Thank you very much for that good question. When I read about it that in the federation account 1.9 trillion naira will be shared, I said that's a very huge amount. That means the issue of oil theft that has reduced our revenue over the years is being addressed. That's one positive aspect of that particular information. Now, going back to your question, all that I've been saying right from onset should not be directed only to the federal government. Most of the time when issues like this come up, our focus is always on the federal government, forgetting that we are a federation. We have other tiers of government that share parts of revenue and that have responsibility to take care of the welfare of the people based on their campaign promises. With this type of revenue being shared across all tiers of government, I expect other units of government also to come up with their own programs. And that's why we have the National Economic Council, made up of all the 36 state governments and their commercial institutions should come together and roll out policies. One way to cushion the effects of this fuel increase, especially on the people, is in the area of transportation. I could recollect some years back that each state government has their own transportation company, and they have buses, and they roll out those buses in order to reduce the cost or the price of transportation. These are areas where ordinary citizens can, benefit, and also to embark on provision of some social and basic amenities that common man can enjoy. I think that is very, very important, because it's very huge amount that is going to this, tiers of government. Most of the people that will be affected at the end of the day, they are not at the federal level. They are state or local government level. So they need to affect the, the lives of the people with their policies.
All right. Where are Thank
you. Yeah. I was going to ask about the refineries, because since 1999, no government has come in and said, oh, let me do these refineries. When I was growing up, there were refineries. There were 4 good refineries, and fuel was affordable. In fact, I think at that time, we even had the best fuel in the world. Now, we are still importing. The refineries are there that they can repair or build new ones. Everybody is waiting for Dangote. Dangote, that is a businessman on his own, that when his refineries are eventually working, he will
sell to make
he will be exporting it and he will sell to us too.
How do you know that?
He's a businessman.
You see, people are speculating that they've all said...
Are they working? They have now said till March.
Okay.
Till March.
Anyway,
so
let's answer the question.
Is there any advice we can give government about building refineries, repairing refineries, or even using the illegal refineries that are in the Niger Delta? So that we don't have to pay...
Thank you for that question.
Sorry, so that we don't have to pay $570 for fuel again.
$670.
Okay, it's a very good question. It's only in Nigeria that I see that a whole government, we rely on private sector provision. We've been depending on Dangote. But from the truth is part of the trust I was talking about, that government needs to build the trust. We've been deceived in the time past, thinking that when Dangote comes up on stream, where it will reduce all this hardship, it will produce and supply fuel. But let's tell ourselves the truth. Dangote is a private entity, although Nigeria has a state.
Yes.
But I believe if you look at our level of fuel consumption, Dangote cannot provide all those the quantity of fuel consumption we need in this country. So I believe, and besides, he has not even started producing. And from what I heard, I think a part of those marketers that have been licensed, I think Dangote company was part of those companies that even applied for license to import fuel. So I think, just like you have said, our refineries are no more working. A lot of corruptions have gone into that. Turnaround maintenance, almost all governments. I think if government can invest in it, although people are saying that government has no business to be in business, and that it should be left to the private sector. But I think what government can do is that those ones that are not working, if they want to privatize it, they should privatize it and make it functional. So that if we have like 3, 4, just like you have said, if we can have like 3, 4, 5, refineries in the country, even if they are being operated by the private sector, the fuel price will not go up to this, because there won't be anything like landing costs, there won't be anything like transportation costs. So it will reduce. I think government should look in that direction to see how the existing refineries can be privatized and made to be functional. I heard about a story that when the late Yaradua came in, he tried to do that, but because of his death, when the new government came in, he tried to revoke all those licenses. I think government should look in that way. It's a good idea. Because as long as we continue to import, and it is subjected to the vagaries of the forces of demand and supply, this will continue to happen, and we continue to lament on the high prices of fuel.
Thank you so much, Prof. Since we started this conversation about palliatives and what government is planning for us. And then we're also talking about the new National Assembly and the money that they are trying to, to use to get new cars and refurbish their offices. Every time we are talked about, palliatives, we've always heard also that Nigeria does not have money, or every time we talked about fuel subsidies, because we did not have enough money to do what's important. And now we have a new administration that's come in, a new National Assembly that is trying to also prepare itself for the new administration. As a layman, my question is, when we don't have money for what we feel is important, like health and education, where do we get money for refurbishment of offices and buying of new cars? And why is it important for them to have these things? In what way does it positively impact the economy, the education, the health of Nigerians?
Okay, thank you for that question. I think our problem in Nigeria is the problems are numerous. Just like what you have talked about now, one of those areas that the government should look into if they want to address the issue you have just raised has to do with our constitution. Don't forget that the National Assembly is a separate arm that is separate from the executive. So they have their own budget being approved directly from the budget. They have their own allocation. So at that time they decide on how to spend their money. And I don't think there's anybody that, audits them or go ahead. So there's a little in which the executive can do in that regard. But just like you have said, if they are true representatives of the people, I think at this point in time, when everyone is undergoing pain, they need to make some sacrifice. They are telling us to make sacrifice, but from their own hand, they are not making any sacrifice. So there's little that the executive can do in that regard. Our constitution is faulty, and the type of democracy we are running in Nigeria is the most expensive in the whole world. And that's why our, political office holders are the highest paid, in the whole world. And I think we need to revisit some of these issues, and they are constitutional issues that can only be handled by those who are elected. And I doubt if this set of crop of politicians that are there will address such issues. Let me also raise this issue. How on earth will you hear that when people are undergoing this type of hardship, the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission are now recommending a 114% increase in their emolument, in their allowances. So these are some of the basic issues. So, and I think it is a constitutional issue. Although all blames goes to the executive, but it's not only the executive. The legislators are there to, to be part of the people. They are representative of the people. They need to go to their constituency and see how their people are suffering and see how they can make sacrifice in order to alleviate this,
thank you for taking, Prof.
Now, going about the 70 billion naira, yes?
I was going to say that what can the executive do to weigh in on this 70 billion naira you're about to talk about? Because as you said, they're an independent arm of government and they also have their own policies and they are backed by constitution. But what can the executive do to weigh in? Because we saw the executive tell us that they are trying to review the 8,000 naira because Nigerians resisted it. Can they also help us tell the National Assembly to review this, their 40 billion naira for cars or 70 billion naira for their office renovation?
I doubt if the executive can do anything. Those who can do something are the citizens that elected them there. And that's why our constitution is 40. In a same climb, some of them should have been called over to give an account of their stewardship. I think it's the citizens that will not allow them to go ahead with that policy. Okay. The executive can do little about that. They should know, just like you have said, the legislature is a separate arm, and there's nothing the executive can do. But the citizens can do something by calling them to order, that they should not spend such a money in renovating or buying bulletproof, cars when people are still struggling to make ends meet, to have a meal a day.
Right.
Prof, don't worry, we'll be shouting every day.
Right, busy.
So what advice would you give to the people who do not see any form of change, who do not see light at the end of the tunnel anytime soon? What would you tell them?
Thank you very much for that question. I just want to advise everyone to be patient with this new government. The new government is battling with a lot of problems. And I think we should support the new government and be patient with the new government. But having said that, I will advise the government handlers, the advisors, not to push the government into a particular situation whereby most policies will be rolled out and it will affect the common man. I think some of these policies have to be filled. Nigeria, the situation we have now, we did not get there overnight. And for us to reverse, it will take some time. So we need to be patient. That's all that I will tell our people. We are all in it, but I know Nigeria is going to be great again. Nigeria is going to be good. Since we come back to normality.
Thank you very much, Prof. Let me let you go at this point. We've been speaking with Professor Tunde Adeoye. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us this morning. It was a pleasure having you on the show. So back to the ladies. Any comments on social media that want to add or subtract to what's been said so far?
Mina TP says, hold your lawmakers accountable. Says the president didn't give them the money. I didn't get that.
But see, the president also needs them. So it's like, we have to work. So the president asked for the 500 billion naira approval. So if you don't approve my own, you know, like you also have to be very careful. They have to manage each other because the presidency doesn't have any, the executive doesn't have any money, doesn't have the purse. These guys have the purse. They're the ones going to give him the money. So he also has to be careful in how to handle. But we need to speak to the Senate president. There has to be some kind of review because if the president is reviewing this 8,000 naira, we hope the Senate president would listen to Nigerians and tell either Ramfak or whoever it is that is in charge of remuneration of their salaries, the one that wants to renovate the National Assembly, and the ones that wants to buy them cars. Somebody must have them have a meeting and let's have a conversation. There are hard times now in Nigeria. You can't be buying cars.
You can pause on this now.
You can pause them for later. Yeah. Any comments on social media before we wrap up because we are. It's fast spent.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are comments, but
some comments are not pleasant.
Oh, really?
No, it's not that they're not pleasant. It's they are fighting themselves. Andrew is you, and you supported the Dangote oil refinery and you shouted down those who wanted the four public oil refineries working again.
Obviously, it's a topic because he has commissioned, they've commissioned, but they are yet to produce or refine the crew that we expect to start operations. We're waiting. They told us end of June.
July.
Was it July or June?
End of July. End of July or towards August is what I heard.
Antnam says, free market is what's going on. Government can no longer dictate price. More competition is coming. Oil is still cheap in Nigeria compared to other parts of the world.
So let's bring back
maybe sometimes we should look at our economy right now vis-a-vis what's happening around the world. I know that sometimes we feel like we are the ones suffering, but everyone is suffering.
I hear they're also increasing fuel prices because I heard that it's $80 now to the barrel compared to $70 to the barrel, I think about a few weeks back. So things have changed and globally across the world. The crude is expensive and pump prices have increased. Someone was lamenting the other day that even housing in Canada is crazy, that everything is expensive. So it's not just Nigeria. But however, we need to begin to produce more. We need to export.
I don't like it when people talk about Nigeria and Canada and London and America in the same sentence.
Yes.
They are too
don't mind YK, she says it all the time.
No.
I'll remind you when next you bring it up.
Let me tell you why. Talk about Canada. It's good there. It's expensive there. When we talk about Nigeria, you see, me and my own local government, your own local government, they have their own local government. If you are producing your own water and your own light, and then you are even starting to farm in your house because the tomato is getting too expensive, then you cannot compare
I don't understand. They import fuel in their country too. They don't have fuel. I don't understand what you're saying.
We are oil producers.
We have the crude. We're not refining it too. They are also doing exactly.
Isn't that one of the arguments we have been arguing
since? Same thing we're saying.
No. I said, no, you say it's expensive in Canada. It's expensive. No, their own salary is higher than our own.
I get you.
Is it the person that is earning 30,000 that wants to be buying fuel at 570?
Standard of living is better.
Yeah,
their standard of living is better. When they put on the light, as long as they pay for their NEPA, the night light go. If you pay for NEPA from morning to night, you haven't had light for 3 days. And we have to buy diesel. Do they have to buy diesel there? No.
Do they have generator?
No.
And fumes? Up and down.
So we even be buying generator? There should be nothing like generator here because we don't need it.
I have a response for you, but unfortunately the show has ended. We'll take it up on Thursday. That's all we can take on today's show.
She's not here on Thursday.
Tomorrow.
Send her a message.
Okay, tomorrow is Thursday, Abby?
Yeah.
See you tomorrow. Bye for now.